Hi, Jason here. Right now, I want to share with you one of my favorite secrets of how to have guns off the books, ghost guns if you will, that is perfectly legal. And it involves this gun right here that's sitting on this table, which I'm going to get to in a moment.
Please welcome back former CIA officer Jason Hanson.
Former CIA Jason Hanson.
This handsome fella is Jason Hanson.
This is Jason Hanson, former CIA guy.
This secret is what I call the pre-1899 secret. And what that means is if you buy a gun made before January 1st, 1899, the ATF treats it as an antique. They don't treat it as a real firearm. What does that mean? Well, that means you don't have to go to a gun store. You don't have to fill out a usual paperwork and get a background check. You don't have to go through an FFL. You could literally buy a gun from some guy off the streets. He could give it to you that day. Or if you have a friend who lives in Florida per se, and you live in Wyoming and he says, hey, I want to get rid of my gun. I'm going to ship it to you in the mail. He could literally put this in the mail, ship it to you in Wyoming, and that's perfectly legal because it is a pre-1899 gun. All right, so the gun you're looking at right now is a Swedish Mauser. Again, one of my favorite battle rifles that I think you should own. This one particular you're staring at right now is made in 1898. These first went in production in 1895. Mine is a carbine, obviously, you can tell by looking at it. The Swedish Mauser, these ones were made in Germany and Sweden, but my particular one, the one I own, the one you're staring at, was made in Sweden. They use 6.5 by 55 ammo, and that's the best part is this ammo is still easy to get, so it's not some crazy cartridge that you're never gonna find. 6.5 by 55 is a great round still today. Of course, everybody loves 6.5 Creedmoor. This is very, very similar to it. This rifle has low recoil. You can pop 5 rounds in there. It's a bolt action rifle. This rifle's got a 3 safety position. It's right here. Right now, safety is off. All that means though, I could load it, I could put rounds in, fire, good to go kind of thing. Next, when it's up like this, standing straight up, that allows me to remove the bolt if I want to clean it, whatnot. And then if I push it all the way over, it's on safe. So if I pull the trigger, nothing's going to fire, nothing's going to happen. So I'm going to switch it back over here because what we're going to do is I'm going to have some fun with this rifle. We're going to shoot some things. I'm going to explain to you why I recommend you go out and buy a pre-1899 gun. I mean, you're owning a piece of history, but these guns are still in great shape. As you can see this, it's amazing that this is still well over 100 years old, but still functions, still looks pretty darn good. So let's go shoot some stuff. So we're gonna shoot a few different things with this Swedish Mauser. I'm gonna start out with a simple cantaloupe because it's fun to see it explode. Then we're gonna go over to a car. I'm gonna shoot through a car door. You're gonna see how the 6.5 by 55 round fares to a car door. And then we'll end up shooting some steel and seeing how that works. So let's get going. All right, the Swedish Mauser obviously has no problem with the cantaloupe. You can see it goes right through it. So it's almost like a hot knife through butter. It just sails right through it. So now let's get to a car door and we'll see what happens when we shoot that. We're gonna shoot this car door right here. So I'm gonna go back there a bit. I'm gonna aim somewhere here in the center. And I'm not gonna give away what's gonna happen, but you can probably already guess. So we're gonna see how far it penetrates. If it goes all the way through this door and if it goes all the way through that door too. So let's do it. I fired 2 rounds to the door. First round you can obviously see here. First round is here, so let's pop this door open. Well, that one came through right there. This one barely came through there, so let's go to the other side. This is the opposite side car door. You can see that round there, that round there. But the big surprise is I'm gonna have my cameraman come over to the other side and you can see the damage that was done. Okay, so now we are here at the other side. So I shot through that car door. You can see the huge holes when it exited. The moral of the story here is that first, car doors are not great protection. So you don't want to be sitting in a car when gun fires at you unless you're hiding behind the engine or maybe hiding behind the wheel. The other moral is in some crazy crisis scenario, someone's attacking a car and shooting at you, you would have no problem stopping the threat by shooting a car door if you had a Swedish Mauser, if you had the 6.5 by 55 round. So now let's move on to shooting some steel. You just saw me shoot some steel. Obviously very fun to have steel rings so you can shoot steel all day long. Now we're gonna show you, I'm gonna shoot some paper targets. But first, as I said, this holds 5 rounds. So loading these things is pretty simple. You know, you just pop the ammo in there. So nothing super tricky or complicated with this one. But what I'm gonna show you here is, this is not gonna be my first choice for a home invasion gun, obviously. But in some crazy scenario, if this is all you had, you can still run this gun pretty quickly. You still have 5 rounds that are devastating rounds. So I'm gonna pop on my hearing protection. I'm gonna step back, move a little forward. We're gonna shoot our bad guy, shoot all 5 rounds. Even though it's a bolt action, it's not gonna be the world's prettiest and world's smoothest thing, but if you had to use this for, again, home invasion scenario, you certainly could in a pinch. All right, there you go. Nothing tricky, nothing pretty. Doesn't look great, but it works. Like I said, I'm a huge fan of the Swedish Mauser, just because it's a great battle rifle, but also because it's a pre-1899 gun. As I mentioned, this one specifically was made in 1898 in Sweden. So go out, get yourself a Swedish Mauser, make sure it's before 1899, have some fun with it, own a piece of history, and have a gun that is completely and legally off the books.